Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's board advisors to this board. To my left is Paul Hennings, counsel to the board. To his left is Blaise Donadio, a planner in the planning department. Now let me tell you why you're here tonight. New York State statute requires that any board that adopts zoning must also have a board of appeals to act as a relief valve so that those persons aggrieved by strict application of the zoning ordinance can seek relief without the expense of going to court. Board can give Board of Appeals additional powers, such as special exception approvals, site plan approvals, etc. In Smithtown, the town board has given this board with authority regarding certificate of existing use and some special exception uses. The most common kind of application before the board are area variances. Area variants deal with dimensions such as lot area, frontage, height, setbacks, and parking spaces. New York State statute mandates that the board must consider the following 5 criteria in area variances. When you come to the podium to present your application, you need to address these 5 areas. They're posted here for you. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. Number 2, whether the applicant has other feasible alternatives. Number 3, whether the variance is substantial. Number 4, whether an adverse impact on the environment will be created. And number 5, whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. The statute requires the board to balance the interest of the applicant and those of the neighborhood or community. This statute further requires that the board shall grant the minimum variance it deems necessary and adequate, and at the same time preserve and protect the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The board has the power to impose reasonable conditions for granting variances. Special exception variances are different than area variance. When we have a special exception, I'll explain the difference. Regarding procedure, cases will be called in order that they are advertised. When your case is called, please come forward, submit your affidavits and mailing receipts to Mr. Donadio, and you'll be sworn in at the podium and given the opportunity to explain to this board why you need the variance. If the applicant is done speaking, all interested parties will be given one opportunity and only one opportunity to be heard. Please organize your thoughts, keep your remarks factual that are related to the case. Then I will ask the applicant to come back to the podium to answer your concerns. The board will then close the case and reserve decision. After all the hearings are closed, the board will review the cases and decide some of them. Others will be reviewed at a later date. There are 3 ways to find out the results of the case. Number 1, you can wait until after the public hearing, but there's no guarantee that the board will act on your case tonight. Number 2, you can call the planning department tomorrow afternoon. And number 3, applicants can wait and be notified by mail. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first case on the agenda, number 17137, Smith Haven Mall, 313 Smith Haven Mall, Lake Grove. The location of the property is the northeast corner of Middle Country Road and Alexander Avenue. The property is zoned SCB. The applicant requests a variance to increase the maximum area of a ground sign from 32 square feet to 104 square feet and increase the maximum area of another ground sign from 32 square feet to 52 square feet.
May I have your name, please?
Sure. Christopher Brivio,
Spell your last name.
B-R-I-V-I-O,
Okay, and your address?
146 Berry Hill Road, my home address. Syosset, New York, 11791.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And what is your position in this?
I'm the mall manager at Smith Haven Mall.
You have a power of attorney?
Yes.
Can I have it, please? Can we have it, the attorney?
I don't have, I have that we always represent the mall.
I'm sorry.
So I have to, because when we went up for the variance for the application,
You have to produce a power of attorney here at the meeting.
Yeah, we typically require that. As part of your duties, do you represent the mall at various hearings and such?
Yes.
Or is this in other words, when you go to other hearings, do you bring powers of attorney with you?
Well, actually, I mean, we haven't really gone to any of the hearings. If we go to the Lake Grove stuff, I do represent.
Yeah.
I mean, I sign the permits, the applications.
Yeah, typically we need a power of attorney, unless you're an office holder or something such as that, which would automatically have the right to represent the mall in a transaction such as this.
You're not getting hurt by, I mean, the signs are already up.
No, they're not up.
What? They're not
no,
up
they're
yet?
up on the Lake Grove side. We didn't put the signs up on the Smithtown side yet.
Oh.
So those they haven't been installed.
Up to you. I don't think.
Yeah. I know it seems harsh, but we do need the power of attorney. Can we bring them back the very next
Yeah.
next hearing?
Yeah, I'll let you come back to the next hearing.
Okay.
Where is this power of attorney that you said you signed?
No, I didn't sign a form
Oh, you
as a
didn't
power
sign
attorney.
it.
I'm just saying I represent them all when we sign.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you the next hearing, which is, I believe, June 10th.
Okay. Do I need to send the letters out again, or is that all covered, or?
No, you don't need to send out the letters. All you have to do is change the date, repost it,
Okay.
okay?
All right. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Do we take back the affidavits, or are those okay?
No, we can keep the affidavits and everything. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll tell you why later.
Okay. Madam Chair, the next case, number 17139, Robert O'Brien, 46 St. James Parkway, Wisconsin. The location of the property, the west side of St. James Parkway, 75 feet south of Hampton Avenue. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum lot area from 10,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet, reduce the front yard setback from 25 feet to 17 feet, reduce minimum north side yard from 12 feet to 8 feet, and reduce south side yard from 12 feet to 11 feet, and total side yards from 28 feet to 19 feet. Increase the gross floor area of the lot from 25 to 36% for a 270 square foot first floor addition and a 756 square foot second floor addition. Increase the maximum paving in the front yard from 25 to 36%. Thank you.
Good evening. May I have your name, please?
Robert O'Brien,
And your address, Robert.
46 St. James Parkway, Wisconsin.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Yes.
Yes,
please, okay.
yes.
Okay. You want to tell us why you're here, please?
Yes, I'm here to seeking variances in order to get a CO to sell, my house is in contract for sale. The house was built prior to the requirement for a certificate of occupancy. And when I purchased it in 1974, I have a letter from the town which says that. And at that point, they weren't requiring a certificate of occupancy for the purchase in '74. I think they mean that this town hall was destroyed at one point.
The what?
Was the town hall destroyed at one point?
No.
Okay. But well, it was prior to '47. The house was built prior to '47.
Okay, before zoning.
Yeah, evidently the letter I have from the town dated '74 says it was constructed prior to the requirement for a certificate of occupancy. The footprint on the house is essentially the same as it was in '74, and I believe that reached back into the '60s. As far as so there's no change. I'm not seeking any kind of change at this point, just a recognition of living space. So the variance would not produce impact on adjacent properties because all the modifications existed prior to any of my neighbors surrounding or across the street. They all purchased their property after I did, and after the exchanges existed. The change is not substantial because it essentially existed prior to '74 without comment from the neighbors. The benefit cannot be achieved by any alternative because it is a prior built structure and has existed since '74. The variance would not cause an adverse effect on the environment because it has not caused such an effect in the past 40 years. And the difficulty was created by the former owner to create living space for their family.
Okay. Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
It's readily moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17140, Cynthia Mitchell, 23 Charlemagne Drive, Wisconsin. The location of the property, the north side of Charlemagne Drive, 992 feet north of Wisconsin Avenue. The property is zoned R15. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 to 13 feet, reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 60 to 41 feet for a proposed 774 square foot first floor addition. No, thank you very much.
May I have your name, please?
My name is Cynthia Mitchell.
And your address, Cynthia?
It's 23 Charlemagne Drive, Nesconset.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Cynthia Mitchell. I am the applicant and the owner of the home. Since it was built in 1965, I am only the second owner. I am requesting a rear setback variance from the required 60 feet to 41 feet and side yard setback variance from the required 16 feet to 13 feet for the purpose of building additional living space for my aging parent who no longer feels comfortable living in her own home, which is an hour away from her nearest family member, being myself. I don't believe that any undesirable condition will occur in the neighborhood. My house is one of the smaller in the neighborhood, and even with the proposed addition, is right in line with the average square footage of living space on my block and surrounding blocks. With some help from the building department, which they were really great in aiding me, considering other alternatives that would not require a variance. We first considered going upstairs with the addition, but because of my mom's age and health, her climbing a flight of stairs would not be feasible. We also considered going forward with the addition. Aesthetically, that would change the whole look from the street, as well as much of the natural light and fresh air. It would be blocked by the addition going into my house. Additionally, it would create a narrow alleyway up to my front door, so that wasn't even a feasible option. If the change is substantial, I don't believe it is. I have a huge backyard, and the nearest house behind me would be 40 feet from the proposed addition, and then their home is an additional 60 feet for a total of 100 feet away from the addition. As far as the side yard is concerned, my nearest next door neighbor, who is Carol Berry at 21 Charlemagne Drive, there's a huge row of tall hemlocks, and I don't believe she can even see my house from her home. Additionally, she has written me a letter that she's fully in favor of the variance if it does go through, and she's also thrilled that I'll be building a home space for my mom, who she's gotten to be friends with over the 25 years of my residence. As far as an adverse environmental effect, I don't believe that there really would be one. My mom is a quiet lady. It would not be overly noisy. There's no unusual pollutants, just a normal living space for my daughter's grandmother. As far as the difficulty being self-created, yes, it most certainly was. But under the circumstances, she took care of me for all these years. Now it's my turn to give back and create a comfortable and secure place through her golden years. Thank you so much for your time and consideration in my matter.
Fleming?
No comments?
Gentlemen?
No question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17141, Sandra Lay, 12 Blydenburg Avenue, Smithtown. The location of the property, the north side of Blydenburg Avenue, 195 feet east of Landing Avenue. The property is zoned RM7. The applicant requests a variance to increase the maximum paving in the front yard from 25 to 68%, reduce the minimum paving setback in the side yard from 1 foot to 0.
This is what they recommended, so. This is a recommendation from the planning.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, members of the board. My name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicant. I've submitted the affidavits of posting and mailing to Blaze Donadio. You have pictures in your file, and I'd like to point out a few factors with respect to why we need a horseshoe driveway. As you know, Blydenburg Avenue is a pretty well-traveled road, and it has become more so since we narrowed Jericho Turnpike and made it one lane coming from 25A when you make a right turn. So a lot of people, including myself today, in order to look at the property, I went around the cemetery and went the back way, got on Blydenburg, and drove down to Landing Avenue. So it is a pretty well-traveled road, more so now because of the narrowing of Jericho Turnpike. You also can see that in the middle of the horseshoe, so to speak, although technically under the town code, the red stone is considered paving, it really is porous, and the question of whether there's any kind of impervious surface there where you wouldn't have good drainage is just not occurring. The other thing that you might want to look at is the fact that on one side, across Blydenburg, is the taxi stand, Lindy's Taxis, and the taxis go in and out of there constantly. So it'd really be something if you had to back out of a driveway there. And on the other side is an office building which fronts on Landing Avenue, but the driveway entrance is on Blydenburg. So that makes for a dangerous situation also. And that's really the reason for the setup with the horseshoe driveway. The other variance that we're asking for is a waiver of the 1 foot of the driveway on the west side of the property. It's from 1 foot to 0. That's really the back end of the building that's on Landing Avenue, I should say, the property. It really has no adverse effect on the owner of that particular site. So given all of these factors, we think that the it blends in with the character of the area. It's an RM7 zoning. Actually, it could be a two-family. The variances have no effect on the adjacent properties. They're really commercial properties on the west side and across the street. Then there's a piece of vacant land on the other side of my client's property. So it really has very minimal effect. The request, is it substantial? Well, it may seem substantial except for the fact that in this situation, we really need that kind of a variance just to be safe in getting out onto Blydenburg and going to Landing Avenue or going the other way to that back road from the cemetery. The benefit, is there an alternative? Well, there really isn't. You do need a horseshoe driveway in this type of a situation with the traffic the way it exists, and as I said, more so now since they narrowed Jericho and brought it into one lane. Does it have any environmental effect? No, it's a driveway. There is no drainage problems there. And did the owner construct this driveway? Yes, she did. However, she did it for a good reason, and that reason is she wants to get out of the driveway safely, and she didn't realize, of course, that we have ordinances for everything, but one thing is the 25% rule of the front yard and even the side yard. So we ask for this board's favorable consideration, considering all of the factors and the fact that it is a dangerous situation on that road. Thank you.
Thank you. Planning?
Madam Chair, we did provide the board members with a sketch of the survey that we'd marked up with the paving in the front yard. Just to touch on a couple of points that Mr. Tremarco brought up. Blydenburg Avenue in that area is in fact a very steep slope road. And the applicant does live on the north side of the road, coming down a very steep roadway. Having the horseshoe-shaped driveway is definitely a benefit on a road that, number one, has that much of a steep pitch to it, and secondly, has quite a bit of traffic. Just so the board is aware, could the paving be reduced to make it in compliance with the code? It could. However, we're not positive that by reducing it down to what the applicant would be allowed to have by code would necessarily make it safe. So something for the board to consider.
Thank you. Gentlemen, any? Thank you so much. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Ready to move the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Just a minute. Are you waiting for a decision? You're not going to get a decision tonight. I just wanted you to know that the environmental department has not given their recommendation. So I have to wait for them to give us a recommendation, so I didn't want us to have you sit here all night waiting for us. Okay, you're welcome to stay.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17142, Dean Tetrault, 58 Harnett Road, Comac. The location of the property, the west side of Harnett Road, 270 feet north of Veterans Memorial Highway. The property is zoned R43. The applicant requests a variance to increase the square footage of an attached garage from 750 square feet to 960 square feet proposed, reduce the minimum side yard setback from 24 to 13 feet, and total side yards from 60 to 37 feet for a proposed 960 square foot attached garage with a 960 square foot second floor addition. Increase the maximum paving in the side yard from 25 to 57%.
At this time, I'm going to recuse myself. I will be leaving, all right? And Tansy will be taking over. You certainly do, right? Bring them up.
All good. Give your name and address, please.
Tina
You can,
Paris.
you can lift that up.
Tina Paris. Address 490 Wheeler Road, Hauppauge, New York.
Could you spell your last name, please?
Paris, P-A-R-I-S.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth and whole truth?
Yes.
Would you like this gentleman to speak to you?
This is Mr. Taltrett. He's the homeowner.
Oh, okay.
I'm only here
Oh, actually, we
to-
need him first then.
Okay. Then why don't you go first?
We'll just do the same exact thing. Raise your right hand and give your name. We already have the spelling.
Hey, my name's Dean Tatchwalt,
And address?
58 Hornet Road.
You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Would you like this woman to speak for you?
yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we're asking for a number of things on a relaxation of the minimum side yard setback from 24 to 13 feet, mostly because of the location of the proposed attached garage. There's currently an existing garage there that's detached, that is dilapidated. It's approximately 480 square feet that we would like to knock down, and in lieu of, and then add an attached garage of 960 square feet, which is also a relaxation of the allowable area for an attached garage, as well as adding 519 square feet of habitable space on the first floor and 1,485 square feet on the second floor of habitable space, along with that attached garage. The issue is primarily the side yard setback because of the location of the building relative to the existing building. Increased permitted paved surface because we are also extending the driveway through. So we are increasing from 25% to 57% of the side yard setback. And last, we are the increased square footage of the garage from 750 square feet allowable to 960 square feet proposed. He does currently have other outbuildings on the site, as you can see on the site plan. You may want to just put that on the floor. There you go. There is another garage that is 1,350 square feet all the way in the rear, and then there's a shed that's 289 square feet. They're all CO'd, they're all currently legal. So all we're asking is for what was being proposed.
Okay. The board received an email today from the planning department. I know numerous board members had visited the site. One of the things is that it appears that the property is currently being used for a commercial enterprise.
That will be Mr. Taltrett.
Well, I'm in the process
If you could use a mic just so that,
yeah, I'm a tile contractor, so I'm in the process of, I keep some of my trucks there in a trailer. And I'm in the process of moving them and cleaning up a little bit. We found some property down Town Line Road to park the trucks, but was 2 trailers there.
okay. Because one of the
They're little
recommendations.
10-foot, they're not big trailers, they're 10
So
foot.
you would be abandoning the commercial
Yes.
use on the site and using it
Yeah.
solely for residential?
Yes.
Okay. So it appears those 2 additional structures, Mrs. Parris said that you're removing the garage and not the shed, or?
There's a garage there now that's very old, it's dilapidated. That's what we're going to knock down.
There are
Okay.
actually 2 garages
And-
and 1 shed. So we're removing 1 garage.
We're moving 1 garage, yes.
The garage closest to the dwelling is the one that's
Can you-
being
can you
removed.
point on the drawing,
Sure.
please?
So currently there is a detached garage here. There's already a detached.
If you could just pull that mic over so that the
Oh, so sorry.
court reporter could hear you.
Can't hear my big mouth? Why don't
You can pull
point?
it out if you want.
Okay. Okay, so there's a detached garage in the rear.
A detached garage is one knock down. This is there, it's all CO'd, it's legal. Everything is here is legal, that's their existing.
Okay, can you just grab the mic just because I'm sure Rick can't hear you and he's got to be writing this all down.
Sure, okay. So the detached garage in the rear is remaining. The detached shed in the rear is remaining. The larger, I'm going from the very rear yard down towards the front. Then the second detached garage that's closest to the dwelling is the one that's being demolished or proposed to be demolished.
Okay. And what's the second garage going to be used for? Well, I guess what are both garages going to be used for?
Dean,
Gotta use-
he
You can take it right out of there if you want.
That's right. The existing one I use to just work on cars. It's a hobby, and I'm a cyclist. I fix people's bicycles, so it's really just, to work on. The one in the front that we were proposing is to park cars and, keep stuff in, like, lawn equipment, lawn mowers, stuff like that.
So what is it, 960 square foot?
The proposed one,
960
yeah.
square foot garage? How big's the lawnmower?
Well, we have a couple cars. I mean, I'm a
I'm just kidding.
contractor. People have tons of stuff to store. Old houses had tiny closets. Now I do houses, working houses, so you can park a car in the closet.
Okay.
We want a big garage so we don't have to squish stuff in there. Put 2 cars in, maybe put bicycles in there, lawn furniture from the deck in the winter time.
Okay.
Where's your tile business located?
In Coma. Well, I don't have a store. I just install tile. So I use my current address for that. I don't sell tile. I just install it.
Is it possible to increase that side yard at all? I noticed that since that garage is kind of tucked behind the house, you're reducing the side yard, I think, from 24 down to 13. Is it possible to get it any further over? So
Yeah, well, we could do that right now. It's actually less. The existing one is less. So we're actually making it a little bit more.
I noticed the one that's there now is kind of set back a little bit.
Yeah, the setback on the one that's detached is actually less than what we're proposing. But yeah, we could tweak it a little bit to give it some more space, absolutely.
Okay. If you could, maybe just go through the 5 considerations, just because it helps us if you could give your take on each one of them.
Well, as far as the effect of the neighborhood, behind me is the Sunken Meadow Parkway, and to the south side is a commercial property with 2 parking lots there. It's an office building that used to be occupied by Jerry Axelrod. He's an architect. There's a doctor's office in there, but within the last year, a doctor bought it. But there's like 3 or 4 offices in there, and they have 2 big parking lots that you could see as you walk down my property. And then in front of the house is Hornet Road, and in front of my house is 3 lanes, so I'm not in the middle of a nice residential neighborhood. And on the other side, on the north side, there's a house, but it's set way up closer to the road, so there's really no effect for them either. So basically it's woods on the 4th side. So I got a parkway, a commercial property, Hornet Road, and then woods on the other side. When I built the house, I built a small house, and I wasn't married, didn't have kids. Now I have kids and a wife and twin boys, and I'm doing it for them, not for me. I got to work and pay for it now. And I'm not sure. It's not going to, it's a big yard, so it's, I'm requesting to make a substantial improvement to the property, but it's an 1.25 acre property. So relative to the property size, it's still, it's not like I'm taking up the whole lot.
Okay.
I think, did I address them all there?
I think so. Does planning have any questions?
No questions, just, comments. The board did get a copy of the email that we sent out to everyone, along with a copy of the aerial photograph of the property. Our position on it is that it's an over-intensification of the property. We're talking about one existing detached garage, which is approximately 1,300 square feet in the rear yard, and now proposing a second garage of nearly 1,000 square feet in the front yard. That's a lot of accessory structures for one residential lot. The fact that there appears to be a business being run on the property, we wouldn't recommend approval of it until at least the commercial business is removed from the property. It's not allowed in the zoning district. It's residential zoning. It belongs in commercial zoning, and we wouldn't want to encourage it by recommending approval on another garage. That's pretty much it.
Can I just ask you a quick question? You said you installed tile?
Yes.
Do you store it on your property?
I don't keep tile. I mean, it might have a little bit of leftover, and then I get rid of it.
Okay.
So I don't sell tile. I don't, I don't keep materials.
All right.
You know, if we have 5 or 6 boxes left over, well, they're going to sit there for a couple of days, yeah. But I learned a long time ago, don't save it, because it ends up just making clutter.
Thank you.
What was the stuff that was seen on the aerial photographs? Do you have any idea what the planning department is talking about?
I had a container there,
What was in the container?
just cement and thin set and wire.
How big was the container?
It's a 30-foot, one of the Cassoni trailers.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, in the process of down where all the trucks, you know, a lot of trucks are parked, by Pioneer Paving down Old Northport Road and downtown Line Road. So I've talked to a few people to move my, you know, couple trucks and the container. I mean, I don't sell material, but I do keep like extra thin sets, so I don't have to go to the mason yard every day. Or, you know, if I need a couple bags of cement, so I keep some tools in there.
It is one of the policies of this board that we will hold a decisions in abeyance until any illegal activity is kind of taken away. Is that something that you could do in a short period of time so that we could have the planning department look at it and give us the go-ahead to make a decision?
Yeah, well, as far as moving, yeah, I've already been in the process of, you know, trying to find property, and I've had a few places that I could move it to.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
We don't have a secret recommendation from DEW, which prohibits us from making any decision anyway. So if that's something that you could take care of and then give us the ability to send down an inspector to verify that that was done, then at least we can move forward.
Okay.
But that being said, did you guys have any more questions?
No.
I'm not clear on the container. Was 30 foot, you said?
Yes.
And
I don't know the exact, I think it's 30 by 8
And that
or
was
30
for,
by 10.
for thin set?
Well, I keep like tools in there, a pallet of cement maybe sometimes, and thin set and wire lath.
It's a lot of thin set.
Yeah, well, we go through a lot.
What kind of vehicles do you have on the property for your business?
F-350 dump trucks.
350?
Yeah. But like I said, the reason why for the extension is because of the family, and my wife doesn't want the trucks there either, so either that or she wants me to buy another house, which I can't afford.
So you're removing the trucks too?
Yes.
Okay, I guess we could see if anyone has any comments, and if anyone in the audience does, you'll get an opportunity to come back
Okay.
up and speak again. Does anyone here like to be heard on this application? I guess not. That being said, I'll motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to wait for Adrian to come back. Okay.
Somebody want to grab Adrian?
Absolutely.
Oh, you, Adrian.
It's nice sitting in the back. Okay.
Okay. Madam Chair, the next case, number 17143, James Young, 26 Cypress Drive, Kings Park. The location of the property, the southwest corner of Cypress Drive and Sycamore Street. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 35 to 20 feet for an existing 348 square foot addition.
Good evening. May I have your name, please?
James Young,
And your address, James.
26 Cypress Drive, Kings Park, New York, 11754.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Do you want to speak?
No, I'm just leaving.
You could speak.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. All right, you want to tell us why you're here, please?
We're requesting a variance to change the rear yard setback from 35 feet to 20 feet for an existing room, 348 square feet.
Want to tell us a little bit more?
I'm sorry?
You want to give us a little bit more information?
Well, the room was built in 1985. At the time, I went to the town, I told the town assessor about it, they came down and they measured it. I was in the process of putting in the permits, for getting the paperwork for the permits, and we had a fire in the house. We wound up living in a trailer for about 4 months, and the permits and everything just went on the wayside. We were more concerned about getting back in the house with our small children. And like I said, we got the CO, and we just put it aside about a month ago. Right?
We would like to know,
I can't let you speak unless I...
About
do
a
you
m-
want to swear me in or?
Yeah. Do you want to get sworn in?
Okay.
Maybe. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
What?
My name is Martha Young.
Yeah. All right, take the mic, and so, do you want to speak?
Well, look, I just wanted to help them out a little bit, okay?
So what happened about a month ago, we bought one of these new printers, and we put in all our files on the computer. We got to the CO, and we were going to scan it, put it in, and we noticed the room wasn't on there. So then we went back to the town, and we filed, and we're here now to get the CO for that room.
Okay.
Is there any undesirable character changes? No. It's a small room, 348 square feet in the center of the backyard. It doesn't, there's my neighbor on my left, it doesn't affect him whatsoever. My neighbor on the back is the reason we want to get the 20-foot setback. He has no problem with it. As far as doing it by some other method, it would have been going up, and it wasn't feasible at the time to add a second story on. We didn't need that much room. We wanted it as a family room and a place to have dinner with the children. We really had no, we were eating in the kitchen, a small kitchen.
Okay.
As you can see, we're in the recreational zone for the Nisquogue River, so we had to go to the DEC. The DEC, I believe you all have the letter, say there's no permits necessary and it's not any environmental impact whatsoever in that area. And yes, I created it. It was my job building it, so.
Good, all right. Planning?
No comments?
Gentlemen?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Rarely moved to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17144, Patricia Voskovich, 66 Fisher Road, Comac. The location of the property is the west side of Fisher Road, 163 feet south of Donna Lane. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 12 feet to 11 feet and total side yards from 28 to 23 feet for a proposed 40-square-foot deck, increase the maximum paved surface in the rear yard from 25 to 80%. I don't need the receipts, I just need the certified receipts. Certified receipts too? Just the probably an original. There you go.
Okay. May I have your name, please?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me? Good.
Hi.
My name is Kendrick, that is spelled Kendrik, and my last name is Lau, that is Lau. And I'm here to
Give
represent.
me your address first.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is 2112 Basin Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. Zip code is 11214.
All right, raise your right hand, please.
Mm-hmm.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. I see you had a power of attorney. What is are you the architect? What is your relation?
I'm just here to represent Mrs. Vaskovich. I'm here to represent Mrs. Vaskovich. I'm a family friend.
Okay.
Because she cannot be here. I'm sorry. Because she could not be here in person, so I'm here to
Okay. All right.
represent her.
Okay. You want to tell us why you're here then? Let's go ahead.
Okay, basically, I'm sorry. Basically, Mrs. Vaskovich wants to expand the paving of the backyard from 25% to 80%. Mainly because she and her brother, John Donegan, are disabled. Her brother, John, I understand, had a stroke and suffered from dystonia, so he's partially paralyzed. And having the increased pavement in the backyard will add to the quality of life and also make it handicap accessible. And she also wants to install a deck by the master bedroom, which is outside the house. Once again, there's also a quality of life issue going on. And Mrs. Vaskovich don't think that this is not in character of the neighborhood, because as far as she understood, her neighbor at 68 Fisher Road did request of similar type of variance, and the request was granted. And again, this is not for any other issue like vanity or just for the hell of it. She's just doing it because she, for disability purposes and to, quality of life issues. And also, the granting of the variance and also have the permits for the deck have any adverse effect on the neighborhood, and Mrs. Vaskovich do not think so, although she did say that one of the engineers, his name is, let me see, Mark Rowley. He said that the southwest corner of the back of the yard have a slight grade change. It dipped a little bit because of the installation of the swimming pool. And so she remedied this situation by putting up restraining walls on the flower bed in the area to keep any water or any other similar situation where it may drain to other people's properties or have any type of floodings. And also, she has also planted a lot of trees and shrubs along the perimeter of the properties. And she said that this will eventually give privacy to her and the neighbors. And she also make a point that because of Hurricane Sandy, a lot of trees on the highway next to Parkway Drive North were knocked down and removed. And those trees used to form barrier from the noise coming in from the highway. And so she said these new plants will act like a sound barrier on her property as well. And she also set up a lot of trellises along the perimeter with vines on them. So basically, you know, like to compensate for the expansion of the pavement, she planted a lot of newer trees and shrubs and other, you know, vegetation to, you know, to I guess to beautify the property.
Okay. Planning?
No comments?
Gentlemen?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Is there anyone here who'd like to be heard on this application? Come up, please. You can sit down, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Just sit and wait. May I have your name, please?
Sure. My name is Neil Cuomo. It's Neilcuomo. I own the property. Oh, I'm
Let me
sorry.
have your address.
2 Donna Lane, Comac, New York.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
Shall I go?
Well, let me do one at a time.
One at a time?
Yep.
Okay. The issue that I have with the variance is not about the setbacks. We're fine with that. It is about the runoff. Increasing the area, the paved area, from 25% to 80% is a threefold increase. And as was mentioned before, there seems to be a grade change. As a result of that, we're seeing some water coming into our property, which shouldn't be there. So if the building department, or whomever is supposed to do this, can help to guarantee, for lack of a better term, that this runoff won't come into our property, I'm fine with the variance. But I am concerned about that.
Okay. Okay.
You're along the north
I'm in the
property
north
line?
corner, right.
Okay.
So you're saying there is runoff?
As far as we can tell, we've had several major storms. We had the 2 hurricanes, a whole lot of snow, and it's a concern, especially if it's going to get worse, depending on who you believe and
Must
who
be
you
here,
ask.
right? Okay, thanks. Let me have the next gentleman, please. May I have your name, please?
Good evening. My name is Joel Balaban, 4 Donna Lane, Comac.
All right, spell your last name.
Balaban.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
Pretty much, I tend to agree with Neil. I would say about 25 to 30 feet of the left rear corner of my property, which would be southeast, attaches their fence on 66 Fisher, and we've had the same issue of water runoff, and that's a concern.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to add?
As I said before, Mrs. Vaskovich is aware of the possibility of runoff, and that's why she had to put up retaining walls around the perimeter.
Would it be possible for us to, maybe a requirement, is there space to create kind of an encatchment area there, maybe a planting bed or something, that if there is runoff, that it goes into her, that it's maintained on her side of the property line?
Can you repeat that?
Is there room there? I'm looking at it in an aerial. I didn't get to see it on site, where we could create an encatchment area. Something. Dry well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A drainage thing, what do you call it?
It appears there's room, so it might be one of our conditions.
I'm sorry, I still do not understand.
No.
Well, we may condition it that if we do approve it, that some sort of a catch basin or a dry well or an encatchment area is installed, so that any runoff
okay.
that is created by the additional hard surface
Mhm.
is maintained on the applicant's property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I will take that into, I'll
Okay.
let Mrs. Vaskovich know about it. But may I have one more last thing to say? I'm not surprised that there will be a couple of her neighbor coming here to question the variance, because I do know that in the past they have personal issues with. I'm sorry.
It's a requirement anyway. If engineering says it, it's code in the town of Smithtown that all of your runoff is maintained on the site. So if engineering and the building department feel that
Okay.
a catch basin or a dry well or something of that nature is warranted, then we would
Okay,
have
sure.
to put it in.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, I'll take it. Have a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Second.
It's rarely moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. That concludes our hearings for tonight. Thank you so much.